After a very lacklustre game against Preston at the weekend, we managed to scrabble a point. Wednesday welcomed an informed Blackburn team to Hillsborough this midweek. A Blackburn team, 6 wins in midweek games so far this season, 3 wins away from home on the spin, and 4 wins in all competitions in the last 5 games. Tough game in prospect. And Wednesday made some changes. Changes for Wednesday, probably some that we weren't expecting. Still a 3-4-2-1. Beadle in goal, Dominic Iorfa, Dishon Bernard and Max Lowe the back 3. Valerie, Charles Bannon and Johnson across the middle. Windass and Masaba supporting Jamal Lowe up front. As for the visitors, Blackburn Rovers, 4-2-3-1 for them. Pairs in goal, back forward of Rankin, Costello, Hyam, Bart and Beck. Douglas, Barder and Tronstad in midfield, with Dolan, Cantwell and Hedges supporting Japanese striker Ohashi up front. Little bit surprised. I'm reading that team sheet there, and I saw Jamal Lowe's name, and I thought, great, because he's that one thing I think we lack in that final third, a little bit of intelligence. So I thought, him providing Smithy, that'll be great for us. And I continued reading down the team sheet, and I was like, well, where's Smithy? Because I generally thought Jamal Lowe was going to come in on that left-hand side, which has been a bit of a problem position for us. And of course, he's a player who's played over 160 games wide forward in his career, not really as a centre forward. So I was really surprised, not that it wasn't, him on left, Windass on right and Smithy down middle. Especially with Smithy being our informed goal scorer. Tough game in prospect, and for me a little bit tougher when you ain't got your leading marksman in there. Anyway, let's have a look at first half. Very scrappy affair, first half. But what I would say is, compared to Preston at weekend, where I thought there was a complete lack of endeavour from Wednesday, a lack of attitude and determination, I thought probably from first whistle tonight we showed that, and probably all the way through the game. Very scrappy in that first half, but we were closing people down. When they were breaking at us, we were getting 2 or 3 men to them and stopping them, find them little passing angles. And overall, it was a very hard working performance. Twice the performance, genuinely, chalk and cheese compared to what we saw at the weekend. And yet we've still lost the game. So I know people will be up in arms, it's not good enough and blah, blah, blah. But in terms of effort and commitment, I thought we were light years ahead of where we were at weekend. As I said, scrappy game. They're up there. They're a team that's hard to break down. I think it's 3 or 4 games that they've just won 1-0 on the spin. So this was likely a game that was always going to be won by a goal. But very scrappy in terms of football in first half. Probably Wednesday's best opening. Brilliant delivery from Barry Bannon. Swerved it out to the right hand side. Jan Valerie gets after it. He's got to put a first time ball in for me, but he tries to beat fullback 4 times. We got a corner from him, but really I would have liked to have seen an early delivery in there. I mean, we had a little spell. Like I said, it was scrappy. It weren't very pretty on eye, but we had a corner routine that sort of broke down, but it came out to the left-hand side on recycle to Marvin Johnson. Great crossing box, and big Dominic Iorfa got up there. Good powerful header, but although Pears saved it quite comfortably in end. Landed with a right thud and all Dom. I did wonder if he might have hurt him at first, but some little scrappy chances, sort of half chances coming there for Wednesday, but it was always going to be that sort of game. As I said, not pretty on eye, but Wednesday were combative tonight, which is something that I wanted to see. Saturday I felt really let down by that performance, albeit we got that point. But we were a lot snappier into tackles tonight, closing down quicker. The work rate was much, much higher. And as a performance, I thought if we can stay in the game and keep a clean sheet, I think we've got every chance of getting another point. He was a little bit stretched at times in there. I didn't think Blackburn were anything special going forward themselves. As soon as they lost possession of ball, they just got everybody behind it, which is obviously, like I said, they've got 3 or 4 clean sheets on the spin. And you can understand why, defending in numbers. And again, very sort of similar to Wednesday tonight, working very hard as soon as they lost possession of ball to get men in behind and snap into tackles. I think their best opportunity first half come the lad Cantwell in middle. I thought he was best player tonight actually for probably both teams. I just liked the way he moved ball about. I thought he was a little bit of a shining light, but he hit a magnificent pass across pitch to that. I understand his name's Travis. I call him Douglas Bader because he spent most of the second half on floor. But brilliant ball across to him. He gets in, and actually it's Marvin Johnson I think does really well to get across and block it out for a corner. Actually, that Travis had another really good opportunity. Ball into box from a corner. Beadle comes out, gets a bit of a fist to it. Smacks a right off volley. Brilliant strike by him. I think it takes a bit of a deflection up way in. It's underside at bar, bounces down on line. Blackburn players are looking for Russian linesmen and little bit of a get out of jail there for Wednesday. Wednesday at the bar themselves, it's Charles's corner. Valerie does well, gets in front of his man. He worked a lot harder today. I'd like to have seen a little bit more on ball from him, but his work rate I thought was far better than it was at weekend. He gets a bit of head on it, and it's sort of joint at post and crossbar. Actually, I think he gets a bit of shoulder and head on it. I think if he gets a cleaner forehead on it, that might go in. But scrappy game. A few little half chances. Not much to write home about in terms of a spectacle. As I said, one or two nice rangy balls out from Barry Bannon, who we missed so much at weekend, and for them that Cantwell I thought looked their best bet. He's another one with a good eye for a pass, but competitive but scrappy first half. Second half, I thought a lot more open than first half. Game got a little bit stretched. Both teams still working hard, getting plenty of tackles going in. I thought referee did well. He let a lot go, because it was like I said, a competitive game, a niggly game. Not a great deal of quality football going on, but I think the ref tried to let it flow, which actually did us a massive favour. I forget what minute it was, but Dave brought a big lad on up front, and he spun Bernard. Nailed on penalty for me. He's just got his arms all over him. Whether the argument is it starts outside box, I don't know. Well, actually, it can't be because he's given us free kick, and I'm not exactly sure what for. I thought that would have nailed on penalty to Blackburn. Yeah, I got that bit out of order. That was after their goal. Like I said before, they've won like 4 on spin, 1-0. Because, Eustace, that's the way his teams are, hard to break down, nick a goal. And they nicked a goal, it was substitute. And it was probably, I thought Wednesday defended quite well tonight. I thought we were quite resolute. And it's the one moment where I thought we were sort of switched off. They get down our left-hand side. They're allowed to get a crossing far too easily for my liking, but it misses everybody, goes towards back stick. And then again it's dug back in. Johnson sort of shouldered off ball. I thought he looked twice the player tonight that he looked at weekend, but I think he lets that lad get round him too easily there. It's clipped back in, and Gay, the set forward who's coming as a sub, powerful header. He's got Bernard and Iofa roundabout. I think they've got to be stronger for me. I know the body angle, they sort of are facing into our goal, so it's like they're leaving themselves work to do. But despite that, I still think he's got in there, and he showed the sort of that guy showed the sort of determination there to get on end of a cross that I've been hoping to see from Ugbo this season. That this is what I talked about in Preston review. You've got to have that extra bit in you. I want to make that at all costs, and that's what he's done. Powerful at it. Beadle given absolutely bloody no chance with it. 1-0, and you knew then it was going to be an uphill task because, like I said, these are keeping clean sheets for fun. Danny makes changes. Gassama comes on. Smithy comes on. I'd like to have seen Lowe moved out to that left-hand side. As I said, I don't think he's had the most effective game tonight at centre forward because Wednesday were quite direct. I don't, and he's not a centre forward low, but I thought he's shown in first half enough about him where there were times when he held ball up quite well when it did get into his feet, and he has got ability to evade and pop the ball out of little spaces when it's tight and keep things moving in there. And I would have just liked to have seen Lowe moved out to the left, Smithy on middle, and I think it just gives us a little bit more. But that's a combination we haven't really seen yet. We've got a free kick. Charles whip free kick in. Smithy involved straight away, gets head on it. Pears makes a save. He bobbles back out. Smithy just about to smash it home for equaliser. And this is what I talk about. Teams that are hard to break down their centre forward. That guy, he's on his own goal line. Just as Smithy swinging his leg back, he's in their centre forward, toes it away from him for the corner. And it's that. They're a very workmanlike team, Blackburn. Very workmanlike team. And in this division, that can get you a hell of a long way. That's why I was so disappointed with our performance at the weekend, because you're not always going to play well. There's much of a muchness with teams in this division, and like I said, not always going to play sparkling football, but you've got to do the basics well. You've got to work hard. You've got to defend as a unit. Look at the results it's got them. Look where it's got them in the table. And I've got to be fair. I thought Wednesday did tonight. For large parts of that game, there's only really the goal where I thought we were really poor. The rest of it, I thought we defended quite manfully as a unit. We piled on it last, 7 or 8 minutes and deep into extra time. Obviously, they got 10, 11 men behind ball. Then, as I said, example, centre forward, kicking one away near goal line. And we just don't have that ability to break teams down when they get men behind the ball. And I think that's why, when you look at it, Wednesday's best results have come on road, because away from home, the home teams are expected to go out and put on a bit of a performance, and obviously when they do that, they leave themselves a little bit more open. Look at that Coventry game when we managed to tear them open several times on counter attack because they were expected to come at us. But at home, when other teams come and they get men behind ball, we just haven't quite got that little bit of instinct and creativity to open door. We're getting some decent positions, but when they've got that many numbers behind ball, you're not gonna be able to unlock them in the way that we try to. So we've got players like Masaba, Gassama, who, when you're away from home, if they get ball and counter attack on halfway line, they've got all acres in front of them, they might be able to go on an amazing run, beat 2-3 men by knocking it past them and getting after it with a pace. When you've got a team that have got a goal to defend, and they've got 8-9 men around their 18-yard box, and they're all defending in close proximity, they've all come in and narrowed 18-yard box, they're very tight. You're not going to be able to beat 2 and 3 men in there. As soon as you've evaded first tackle, there's a second man and a third man, they're straight on you, and a little bit frustrating. But that's where we are at the minute. That's where we are. We lack that creative force. Bannon were trying to make things happen with his longer range passing, but it's them moments in and around 18-yard box when you need that little bit of cuteness. You need somebody like, I'm talking about Masaba and Gassama trying to take on 2 or 3 players. It's little given goals that do damage in them areas. You look at a player like Kieran Lee, he might not be able to beat 3 or 4 men like they can do. We might not, have had the pace that they had, but 18-yard box, little given goal. How many times did we see him receive ball, get it into a striker, and then he get in beyond striker and make a late run and get in behind defence for a return ball? And I don't really think we've got anybody that sort of performs that role. So it's a 1-0 defeat. I know, but a lot of people, I did make the mistake after the game. I thought, I'll just have a quick look on Twitter. Then I'm like, maybe I won't, because people are in uproar. I'm not. It is a defeat, but I'm not down about it in the same way that I was. I was more angry about that draw against Preston, because I thought Preston were a far, far poorer side than this Blackburn team are. and I thought we let them have it easy for 70, 80 minutes of that game. Tonight, I thought we made it hard work for Blackburn. I think, with the exception of their goal, which is a frustrating bit, I thought we've had to make them work hard all night. And as I said, just some little bits of quality in final third that we just ain't got. If I'm being super critical, that's why I think that you've got to play your top goal scorer. When it's a tight game, and I think, probably I didn't look on it before game betting sites, but it was always going to be a 0-0 or a 1-0 either way this game. And when it's going to be that tight, for me, you've got to start your centre forward. The man in goal scoring form. And I know we're entering this busy Christmas New Year period now. These games every few days. And we can talk about fatigue and tiredness and this sort of thing, but I'm not a scientist, but I firmly believe that when you're a striker who's in goal scoring form, that fatigue tends not to happen, because I think a lot of it's up here. And when you're hitting goals in, you just want to be playing every week, and I think you find that extra yard. I think you keep your levels high because you're on that roll. You've got your targets on, So a little bit frustrating with that, but as I said, it's been a problem this year and last year. We just missed that spark up front, that little bit of know-how. But anyway, it's only a short one tonight because midweek ones I can't be doing can't be going into too much detail. Got to get all this edited and get ready for bed for work tomorrow. But overall, pleased with the effort, pleased with the commitment, pleased with the battling. Just little moments of quality, and that's what makes a difference in this division. That's probably why they're up where they are, just finding them little bits of quality up front to win, like that determination to get on that header. And we're just missing that at the minute. Anyway, I am off. Don't be too down about it. We're still up there, aren't we? Avoiding relegation trapdoor. And hopefully soon get to that magical 50 points. See you later. 50 points, it's fucking Christmas. I'm tired.